Hey, it's Matt here, and I want to welcome you to the final episode in our home buyer series. And today we're going to talk about the last step, which is closing. Now, closing is when we go to the title company and sign the documents. Rather than me tell you about that process, I recently sat down with Kelly Wald, an escrow officer with Republic Title, and I'd love for you to hear parts of our interview where we talked about closing.
When we think about kind of going back to the process, I think everybody thinks the last step is closing. What happens at closing?
Well, hopefully it's fun.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah, typically we close buyers and sellers separately. So it doesn't matter who closes first. After the last party signs, then we work on funding. But at closing, if you've got a loan, you're going to sit down, you're going to go through all the loan documents.
Yep. We're
going to answer questions for you. We'll notarize documents, make sure everybody is who they say they are. And then we'll do a closing.
And closing will take how long usually?
It depends on the person.
Okay.
I've had them take 10 minutes and I've had them take 4 hours.
Okay.
So everybody has the right to sit and read documents, and some people are very diligent about it. But a typical buyer closing takes 30 to 45 minutes, a seller 10 to 15.
Okay. And now when I think of closing, I think of signing a lot of documents. And on the back end, what do you guys do to kind of complete the closing?
Well, after everybody has signed, if there's a loan involved, we work with the lender to fund the loan. You have to remember those documents are loan documents. So the lender wants to review them, make sure everything's signed and dated, that all their conditions are met. So we work with them to make sure that happened. And then they'll authorize us to fund, and that's the magic moment when the house becomes the buyer's.
Okay. And so when do I get my keys?
Good question. That really is between the seller and the purchaser.
Okay.
But often the keys are left at the title company for the buyer to pick up after we have funding authorization.
Okay.
Sometimes agents will coordinate that, or the buyer will take the key when they do their walkthrough, but typically keys do not get released until funding occurs.
One of the tips I would add on to what Kelly said would be to take some extra time off around closing. I wouldn't plan for just a really, really quick closing. It's nice to have a little bit of flexibility and enjoy the day and celebrate. Ideally, you'll get your keys shortly thereafter, and then you can head over to the home. One thing to keep in mind is your closing may or may not be at the title company in person. I would encourage you to schedule it that way and set it up if you can. But you also have the option of having a notary come to your home, or depending on how you're purchasing, you may also be able to do an online closing. Regardless, we'll still need to figure out how to get that key in your hand. And like Kelly mentioned, the key usually comes right around or shortly after closing. A couple things to keep in mind, some extra work to do right after your closing would be make sure to change your address, update your driver's license, and then register any warranties you may have that transferred with the house. Those things are easy to forget, so you may as well do them right away and have those in place. But congratulations, you're a homeowner now. I want to thank you for watching this home buyer series. I hope to have the privilege of serving you somewhere in your real estate journey. In the meantime, I wish you good health and take care.